Right guys, welcome to the channel. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Okay, let's go.
Isn't it rather superficial to cast judgment on what life is or is not?
It's an eternal cage. Every time I wake up, I am one step closer to the darkness. Lost. Once again. The very last time.
Miss Cobalt B, about the feedback last time.
Feedback. Adjustments have been made, but I'm not sure if it meets our expectations. So I'm gonna run some tests. The center of balance is tilted to the left. Need to redo the balance. Shooting feedback. Mediocre. Sustainability? Perfect. We got some interesting data today. So, I have a new idea.
Tower of Fantasy, a shared open world MMORPG. Play now for free. I want to help Ling more, so let's deal with those guys. Energy flowing through my body. This is the source of my strength. My heart is like flowing water. Silent as the stream. Do my moves look amazing? Good. That's what they should be like.
Representing District 7, I'm Min, and I'm here to help you. I will carry out my duty with all my heart and soul. It's time to clean up this city.
Tian launched from District 7. You can leave everything to me. I'll help you take care of those enemies. Lightning is surging!
Emerge as a butterfly with newborn wings. I gracefully integrate dances with fighting, and I'm in perfect condition right now. No wings blue! Nice try!
Earth's most mysterious and elegant magician, Umi. With a long whip named Mobius as the weapon, her skills are infused with a passion for magic. In both a gorgeous and elegant manner, this is the way how Umi combats.
Let the show begin.
Umi's attack skills intro.
Watch carefully.
Using Mobius for normal attacks, she deals an elegant 5-hit combo both on the ground and in the air. On the ground, use a skill to pull nearby targets by releasing a charged normal attack, or a multiple stage normal attack followed by a charge. If her normal attack is charged while airborne, it will become a rapidly falling pummel and launch the enemy. Here is an introduction to Umi's skill. It's magic time.
Let the show begin.
Before using Umi's skill, you need to deal damage with any weapon on field to accumulate warm-up points. However, every time Umi enters the combat, you immediately gain 100 warm-up points, and you can use the skill right away. Okay, it's magic time! The targets in front of Umi within a certain range will be pulled together and receive damage while suffering the slow effect. Umi becomes temporarily invincible while using the skill. More importantly, Umi enters the magic trick state after using its magic time. This is the core mechanism of Umi. Under the magic trick state, Umi automatically get either a spade or heart every 2 seconds. When there are 2 poker cards, it automatically triggers the card magic skill. Click the skill button to determine the suit of the next card, to combine 3 different kinds of card magic skills. Besides, during Magic Trick, Umi gains Hyper Body and is considered shielded. Meanwhile, during Magic Trick, the weapon Mobius's normal attack damage, dodge attack damage, and shatter are also increased. It goes without saying that only a magician can include all these buffs and damaging techniques in one single Magic Trick. Magic Trick can last up to 18 seconds, during which switching to any other weapon or Umi's death will end the magic trick early. Umi gains Hyper Body for 20 seconds when magic trick ends. If Umi finishes the entire 18-second course of magic trick, she deals additional serious damage to nearby targets. Eventually, please note that the cooldown of Umi's skill magic time is 30 seconds. No other weapon skill or matrix effect can affect this cooldown. At present, the cooldown time can only be reduced by prematurely quitting Magic Trick after Umi is upgraded to 3 stars. Last but not least, we have Umi's discharge skill to wrap up the skill introduction.
Overlapping illusion.
Okay, the next is an introduction to Umi's key star rating effect. Lastly, let's move on to Umi's traits and the team combination. The recommendations we have here are not the only choices. You can always think out of the box to maximize her abilities. This actual combat display takes Umi in Star 6 as the example.
Showtime!
week's showcase. We hope you like our talent and positive magician Umi. So let the show begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Mioria Entertainment Center's top idol DJ, Fenrir. A passionate and vivacious young woman with music at her core. Every battle's a huge disco when Fenrir's around.
The night is where I shine.
I'd like to invite Miss Fenrir to kick things off with a display of her swift moves. A 7-hit ground and mid-air combo, Woof and Unshackle. After the second and fourth ground attack, tap and hold normal attack for Fenrir to unleash Wolf Bite. But don't let go of the attack button just yet. Keep it held down for an additional move, Up Swipe. After the fifth or sixth ground attack, tap and hold normal attack for Fenrir to use Menacing Hunt. Tap and hold normal attack in midair to descend from above and unleash thick and fast. Keep the button held down to follow up with an additional skill, Roar. While airborne, tap and hold normal attack between the 2nd to 7th normal attack to unleash Fenrir's elegant trailing note. And Melody is the move of Fenrir launching dodge attack. Let's take a look at Fenrir's key passive, Reverberation. Every hit of Fenrir's normal attacks has a chance to place one musical note on her target. This cute little note is actually a dangerous bomb, and its detonator is Fenrir's trailing note and melody. Stack up those notes and deal even more damage. Besides, detonate multiple notes to trigger intoxication and deal damage over time to the target. Lose yourself to Fenrir's music, and then it's time for a world of hurt. Next up, we have Fenrir's skill, Superstar, a skill that even makes your soul dance to the beat. Fenrir creates a song world that remains around her for 30 seconds, and it grants her damage reduction and the ability to ignore a portion of her target's defense. In addition to that, it deals damage to the most important nearby targets and separates the target's consciousness from its main body. Essentially, the consciousness is a secondary target with 30 times the Wanderer's max HP and lasts for 15 seconds. It suffers Gleipnir's non-passive damage and simultaneously transfers the damage to the main body. That means attacking the target and its consciousness at the same time allows Fenrir to deal damage twice. I must say, it's excellent damage boosting mechanic. But that's not all. Each hit Fenrir lands on the consciousness recovers HP worth 50% of the attack for her, and the main body deals reduced damage to Fenrir while the consciousness is active. When the consciousness HP drops to 0, its duration ends. A new consciousness is created, or the distance between the consciousness and its main body grows too far. The consciousness will return to the body and trigger high area damage. Finally, we have Fenrir's discharge skill, Awoo! It deals damage to targets within the area and places 3 musical notes on them. Then let's rock the show! Now for a look at Fenrir's weapon and simulacrum trait. Gleipnir, Fenrir's weapon, is more than just a new and powerful core volt weapon which can activate volt resonance. It also comes with elemental balancing, a resonance effect made specially for mixed element teams. Fenrir's simulacrum trait can also grant a remarkable damage boost to mixed element teams. That makes Fenrir even more versatile. She is quite a beginner-friendly choice, especially when your team isn't set in stone. Okay, coming up is an introduction to Fenrir's key stars. At 1 star, Fenrir gains a new skill, Oral Fever, which possesses both DPS and recovery abilities. It's unlocked when Superstar creates a consciousness and is in cooldown, and you can even reset the cooldown of Oral Fever by detonating 3 or more musical notes. At 3 stars, Song World gets even stronger. While Song World is active, it triggers multiple instances of high area damage and grants invulnerability. These effects are the perfect match for Tianlong's traits. Lastly, let's take a look at Fenrir's team combination and combat analysis. This actual combat display takes Fenrir at the full star as an example. The operation is revolved around Fenrir's double skill and dodge attack, combining with Tianlong's buff and his DPS in the handoff slot. The third weapon can be selected from Nemesis or Lin. When the HP goes down, Tianlang's passive of sacrificing HP for damage boost and the area damage effect of Songwhirl Quake will be triggered frequently, providing a decent amount of damage. You can maintain a steady HP level using the recovery effect of Fenrir's 1-star Oral Fever and the passive recovery of a low HP Tianlang. A frequent recovery can also refresh Fenrir's Escape Death passive faster. Nemesis offers offhand slot damage and regeneration, which enhances survivability. The combination of 3 Volt weapons can benefit from Tianlang's Volt Sense buff. Then offers Volt damage in the offhand slot and Epiphelum damage. She can also increase Fenrir's dodge attack damage and the number of uses. Above is all the content of Fenrir Showcase. We hope you like Fenrir!
Lon is a vigorous girl from another dimension, Domain 9. She loves traveling around and eating delicious food. However, once in combat, she turns into a cold-hearted killer who wields an umbrella-type weapon, Vermilion Bird. Let all enemies crumble under the heat of the Cardinal Fire, Lord Chuche.
Is it time to get serious?
The demonstration of Lon's basic skills. Lon can deal with up to 5 normal attacks on the ground or when airborne. Note, after hitting the target with any weapon's normal attack or dodge attack, one tiny umbrella named Parasol will be generated in the nearby area. Up to 3 parasols can exist at the same time. Parasol contains diverse mechanisms. Let's talk about it in Chapter 2. While on the ground, tap and hold a normal attack during the 2nd to the 5th normal attack to dash forward and strongly suspend the target. While airborne, tap and hold a normal attack to consume endurance to remain airborne by spinning Vermilion Bird, dealing damage over time to surrounding enemies, while making all parasols on the field spin rapidly. Release the normal attack button to make Lon fall, dealing damage and knocking the target down. When Lon is in a non-combat state, she can use her weapon to explore the terrain. While on the ground, tap and hold a normal attack to select a location to spawn a parasol, then use the skill to quickly move to the parasol's location. The parasol lasts 15 seconds. Other than that, Lon will pull out her umbrella to glide after performing a double jump. Elegant. Absolutely elegant.
Interesting.
Lon's skill and passive introduction. While using the weapon skill, Lon will fly toward the parasols in the same order that they spawn, triggering area damage multiple times before returning to the original position. If Lon passes through 3 parasols and returns to the original position, she then gains a shield, Vermilion Domain, for 8 seconds, which grants her hyper body and high damage reduction. While diving, Vermilion Domain has a damaging effect and increases Wanderer's speed. Once Fortitude Resonance is active, Vermilion Domain expands into an even larger area, granting damage reduction to nearby teammates. Lon can also extend the duration of the Vermilion Domain by tapping and holding normal attacks while airborne. Next, let us focus on the tiny umbrella, Parasol. First and foremost, we need to explain these 2 nouns. Polyfeather Parasol. It's an adjective for a multiplier. Its value is equal to the number of parasols on the field plus 1. In combat, there are 3 parasols max, existing on the field most of the time. So in other words, Polyfeather Parasol usually represents a 400% multiplier. Feather. It's the energy required to be consumed in order to spin the parasol. The cap is 30, and you gain 1 feather every second automatically. You also gain 1 feather with a 0.5 second cooldown each time you deal damage. We can now get into the parasol's mechanisms after learning the definition of these 2 nouns. Mechanism 1. Fiery Crash. Enhance the area damage from the parasols passed through by Lon when using the weapon skill. The higher the Polyfeather Parasol, the more the extra damage dealt. Mechanism 2, Corrosion. Parasol's nearby targets take high flame damage and charged attack damage. Mechanism 3, Radiant Flames. Parasol's nearby targets take burn damage over time. Mechanism 4, Flame Vortex. Parasols on the field consume 1 feather every second to deal area damage. Note, the feather to be consumed will always be 1 regardless of the number of parasols that exist on the field, and it also fixed its damage at 1 time per second. Mechanism 5, Rapid Spin. While airborne, tapping and holding normal attack and using weapon skills will trigger the parasols to spin rapidly. While spinning, the feather cost of Flame Vortex and the damage, charge, and shatter effects from Flame Vortex are multiplied by Polyfeather Parasol. Lastly, this is Lan's Discharge skill. Besides dealing great extra damage to the target, Lan receives a flame damage boost for 20 seconds after her Discharge skill hits the target. It's an excellent support type skill for the damage boost. Lan's Key Star Introduction. When Lan advances to 1 star, new passive effects, Vermilion Strength and Glowing Fire will be unlocked. The effect of the former one is to multiply the ammo cost of other weapons by Polyfeather Parasol. Correspondingly, their damage, charge, and shatter effects are also multiplied by Polyfeather Parasol, which greatly increases the burst power for a short period of time. The effect of Glowing Fire is that when targets near a parasol take burn damage or damage from Fiery Crash, an extra amount of damage will be transferred to the 3 nearby units with the highest HP percentage, which greatly increases the area damage effect. When Lan upgrades to 3 star, the first damage she takes during the battle, there will be 3 parasols spawned near the target immediately. This reduces the activation time of stacking parasols. Meanwhile, when Lan uses any weapon discharge skill or shatters, parasols will trigger an additional 30% effect of Fiery Crash, and reduce the ATK of enemies near the parasol. Lastly, let us take a look at Lan's team combination and combat analysis. The recommendation of team combination here isn't the only answer. How to maximize Lan's effects is the ultimate goal. Try to think out of the box. Lan's mechanism mostly focus on the support type flame damage boost. For this, we select Clover Cross's dodge attack to trigger the fully charged cross snipe as a major burst of damage output. Before going into the burst, the Pure Flame team requires Ruby to accrue 8 stacks of heat using her normal attacks, and the Lin's Flame team needs to activate Moonlight Realm. Having all these ready, the team should use the damage boost from Kuant's shield after it's shattered, as well as from Lan's discharge skill, to complete the process of boosting damage. Please note that Lan's 1-star trait will trade ammo costs for extra burst, so go easy on the dodge attacks of Clover Cross. 2 to 3 times is good enough already. On top of that, when Clover Cross equips 4 Annabella matrices, you may consider using Clover Cross's dodge attack after releasing Lan's skill, taking advantage of the 4 Annabella matrices to increase the spinning parasol's main slot damage boost effect. Above is all the content of Lan's showcase. We hope you all like Lan.
Icarus is a new DPS core in the Frost team. He's the wielder of Precious One, a weapon that looks like a yo-yo. While his damage mechanism is easy and simple, his skills can be cast continuously by making full use of Discharge, allowing him to initiate different moves with extremely high potential. Assault, Mook, Icarus.
I will take care of all the perils that lay ahead.
Icarus's basic skills. When Icarus deftly uses the Precious One in yo-yo form, it becomes a deadly and flexible weapon. Icarus's skill traits. Weapon skill, Desolate Day. Swing Precious One to deal damage, receiving damage reduction and recovering HP during the period. After using this skill, 2 Speedy Yo-Yo will be generated. The Speedy Yo-Yo continuously moves in a regular pattern, dealing damage to the enemies on the path. Its exceptionally long, 70-second duration enables stable output throughout the entire battle. Discharge skill, Yubing. Besides dealing damage, the key is to gain 2 reserved attempts of the new skill, Return to Loneliness, after using Yubing. Return to Loneliness. Deal a high amount of damage and recover HP. While Fortitude Resonant is active, use Return to Loneliness to taunt the nearby targets and grant Icarus the blocking shield. While Benediction Resonant is active, Icarus can deal a high amount of damage based on the enemy's max HP when they have 95% or more HP. Meanwhile, the maximum reserved attempts of Return to Loneliness is 2, so remember to use them before it exceeds the limits. Icarus's Key Star. After advancing to 1 star, the Speedy Yo-Yo can deal extra damage when Wanderer uses any weapon skills or discharge skills. It will yield the maximum effect when combined with Icarus's Speedy Switch combat style. Icarus's weapon combination and combat introduction. Next is the combat display of combining Icarus with other weapons, using max star weapons as an example. The recommended combination here is not the only way to play Icarus, and we suggest everyone fully explore Precious One to find the style that fits you the most. Key point: use weapon skills and discharge skills frequently as the primary damage output means, and trigger Icarus's 1-star trait simultaneously to quickly deal a large amount of damage. As for survivability, use Desolate Day and Return to Loneliness to recover HP to stay alive. During the combat, please be aware of the change value and use Precious One as much as possible when releasing discharge skills so that you will get more chances of using Return to Loneliness. In the Pure Frost team, combining Icarus with 1-star Sakifua allows you to use your skills seamlessly. The recommended skill priority: Icarus skill, Alice skill, Sakifua skill. In Lean's team, the discharge skill used by 1-star Alice's doppelganger will count towards Wanderer's discharge skill usage. Based on this mechanism, Wanderers can quickly fill up the discharge counter of 6-star Lean to use Lean's skill at a higher frequency. That's all for Icarus's showcase. We hope you like him.
begin!
In combat, Fiona is a character with high adaptability. The 6 flexibly configured scatter techniques can provide damage, damage boost, resistance, recovery, charge, control, and resistance reduction to various sets of weapons. When fighting a special target, Fiona's skill effects such as removing Grang Bite, removing delay, and gaining delay immunity can work wonders. On top of that, as a benediction weapon, Fiona offers many buffs that are tailored to the Wanderers who activated benediction, such as the exclusive skill division that brings high healing capability and stat increase to those who activated benediction. In the critical moment, the skill scatter technique Aqua Shackles offers control capability and resistance reduction. Her discharge skill can also offer AoE recovery and add guards to teammates. Besides, an increased instant execution threshold and the Matrix's damage boost effect on the entire team will further improve the importance of benediction Wanderers in a team. Meanwhile, Fortitude Wanderers can benefit from Fiona's discharge skills, which grant resistance boost and damage reduction effects. They can also increase the capability to take damage through Wellspring and the Simulacrum trait, which greatly enhances their resistance. Below, we will recommend different builds of Fiona in various DPS styles. Please note that the lineup recommendations we recommend are not the only way to go, and you should find the most suitable path that works the best in your current situation. Lastly, we will demonstrate using Double Altered Team as an example.
Be careful!
Key points. Try to use Vortex as much as possible. During the casting period of Vortex, use Moonstar Bracelet's airborne attack to deal even more damage. Select Moonstar Bracelet and Vermilion Bird to use the discharge skill.
Take this! And no end to the pursuit.
That's all for Fiona's lineup recommendations and combat display. Thank you for watching.
Ta-da! Behold, before you stands the legendary pioneer of the future, destined to become the greatest explorer in the history of Vera. Hold on. You absolutely cannot tell those grown-ups that I'm here.
The wielder of the giant electric saw Mini Hurricane and the master of the tentacle beast pit. This strange little girl, Gunon, is our star of the day. Gunono's basic attack. Barring the octopus paws are the most important branch attack of Gunono. It's excellent in terms of damage, shatter, and control. The fastest way to use it is to tap and hold to the normal attack right after dealing a normal attack on the ground. During the attack, the Hyper Body is activated, and she can move freely. She can also inflict a Grupa status on the target. Gunono's dodge attack. Gunono's skill. In combat, Gunono receives 15 Octo-Whips from Pip, which will automatically launch a coordinated attack on the chosen target. Each attack consumes one reserved Octo-Whip, dealing area damage to nearby units, and inflicting one mark on the hit target, stack up to 3 times. And physical damage is dealt to a marked target by attacks other than Octo-Whip. One mark will be detonated, causing additional damage. Additional information on the tentacle. Using Gunono's discharge skill, her Octo-Whip reserve is increased to the max, 30. At the same time, her Octo-Whip will be replenished when any weapon's discharge skill hits the target. The more attack phases a discharge skill has, the more Octo-Whip it can replenish. After Gunono uses skill, all nearby targets' marks are detonated, and Octo-Whip rampages for 12 seconds, increasing her attack speed by 100%. If Gunono is charged when using the skill, 1 to 3 mini-squid icons will appear above her head. Best time to use: release the skill button when there are 2 mini-squid icons above her head to maximize the inflicted damage. Gunono's Key Star. At 1 star, the shatter effect of Gunono's branch skill improves significantly. A shield is obtained upon using the branch skill once every 5 seconds. At 3 stars, her max Octo-Whip storage capacity is raised to 45. After she uses a discharge skill, an additional physical damage boost is guaranteed. At 5 stars, her target's grievous duration resets when the mark is detonated. Moreover, when damage is dealt to any target whose HP is below 80%, her physical damage increases. Finally, let's take a look at Gunono's weapon pairing recommendations for combat and battle plans. This combination of weapons is not the only answer. Use your knowledge of Gunono to make your own. Gunono's main slot performance is flexible and highly tolerates mistakes, while having a robust and stable damage output from the offhand slot. The recommended lineup for physical team: Gunono, Umi, Fiona. Gunono and Umi deal damage on the field alternately, while Fiona provides a damage boost from the offhand slot. Gunono can fill the gap when Umi's skill is on cooldown and provide a shield. Meanwhile, Fiona offers considerable recovery to greatly improve the survivability of the physical team. It's possible to pair Gunono with Fiona, Ling's double-alter damage team, to compensate for the shatter ability. Using 2 weapons of the same element can also activate the damage boost of Gunono's Universal Renaissance. As for the control, Gunono is responsible for dealing the majority of the damage, while Fiona and Ling provides offhand slot damage boost and offhand slot damage, respectively. That's all for Gunono's showcase. We hope you like this playful and adorable girl.
We cannot define right or wrong, as the future is still unclear. But let's not forget the reason we began this journey. Resonance of all beings.
Hailing from the confounding abyss, Rubelia has mastered the power of the gray space entities. The Crystamax thorns that she summons deal a high amount of burst damage when she uses her skills. Rubelia and her lost art. Rubelia's basic skills. She can use her normal attack 5 times in a row on the ground or in mid-air. Tap and hold normal attack on the ground or in mid-air to dash forward. Her 2 dodge attacks trigger feedback, a special effect that we will talk about later. Tap and hold dodge for her to rush upward. Try using descent to dive downward after using weave. Tap and hold normal attack after dodge to convert the gray space entity hit to an ally temporarily. During the conversion period, Rubelia will cause damage, and a certain proportion of the damage will be applied to the gray space entity after the conversion effect ends. Here are Rubelia's skills and mechanisms. First, let's talk about Crystamax thorns, Rubelia's main mechanism. They are the key to her burst damage. When Rubelia uses weapon skills, they lose HP and deal additional damage. When feedback is triggered, they recover HP and deal additional damage. They are created when Rubelia uses her discharge skill. They last 150 seconds and cannot be attacked. The first discharge skill creates 3 Crystamax thorns, and 2 more are created if the discharge skill is used again within 150 seconds, reaching the limit of 5 thorns in total. Rubelia's weapon skill, Field. Dash 10 times and pull nearby targets together. Each dash spends 10% of all thorns' max HP to deal additional damage, until they run out of HP. Once the Crystamax thorns are out of HP, they cannot trigger additional damage. In addition, the HP lost ratio of the Crystamax thorns is considered the same as the Wanderer's HP lost ratio, which can trigger 3-star Fenrir's Songworld Quake. Rubelia's discharge skill, Hara's Embrace. Use the discharge skill to summon 3 Crystamax thorns, and gain 30 seconds of volt damage boost. After hitting an enemy, gain 1 additional dodge attempt and 2 charges of feedback. When the feedback charges are available, use dodge attacks to trigger feedback, restoring 25% of the thorn's HP, and resetting their duration and locations. Mechanism summary. Use her discharge skill to attack enemies, summon Crystamax thorns, and gain feedback charges. Use her weapons skill to spend thorn's HP to deal additional damage. Then use dodge attack twice to trigger feedback and recover the thorn's HP. Rubelia's key stars. When Rubelia is at 1 star, triggering feedback will make the Crystamax thorns deal damage to nearby targets for 30 seconds. At 3 star, use her weapon skill or discharge skill to create 1 Crystamax thorn. At 5 star, feedback recovers 50% of the thorn's HP. That means triggering feedback twice will fully restore their HP. Rubelia's weapon combination and combat introduction. During combat, the combination of Rubelia and 3-star Fenrir poses an extremely powerful burst of AoE damage. Use Rubelia's weapon skills as the core of the rotations, combining Fenrir's double skills and dodge attacks on field to fill the gap of the cooldown period. Below is a demonstration of the max star weapon. The lineup recommendations here are not the only answer, and Wanderers can combine your own lineup preferences to come up with ideas. Lineup recommendations 1. Rubelia, Fenrir, Fiona. Key points. Revolve around the cooldown of Rubelia's weapon skills. and use the skill when the song world exists. Try to use the discharge skill with Rubelia and Fenrir. Hydro Focus is recommended among Fiona's scatter techniques. Then select one of the following two: Wellspring or Torrential Force. Lineup recommendations too: Rubelia, Fenrir, Tianlong. Key points. The main rotation is built upon the recommendation 1. Pay attention to the timing of Rubelia's weapon skills, which should be used during the existence of Thunderbreaker and Volt Sense. Above is all the content of Rubelia's showcase. Thanks for watching.
Farewellville Domain Guard Liu Huo is here to lend a hand. Rest assured, I've got your back.
Liu Huo, a powerful flame main DPS from Domain 9. She uses an ink brush of Eastern heritage, Pine Comet, as her weapon, combined with unique calligraphy strokes as her attack. The Blaze of Farewellville. Liu Huo is here. Part 1, Basic Attacks. Liu Huo's normal attack. Liu Huo brandishes Pine Comet to complete 7 consecutive attacks on the ground or in midair. Ground extensions. Free riding. When on the ground, tap and hold normal attack during the 2nd to the 4th normal attack to deal high damage and knock back the enemy. Falling Paper. When on the ground, tap and hold normal attack during the 5th to the 7th normal attack to deal multiple instances of damage and suspend twice. Tap normal attack after triggering pre-writing, or tap and hold normal attack after triggering Falling Paper to use Elegant Strokes, performing an arcing displacement and suspending the target. After triggering Elegant Strokes, tap normal attack to trigger Falling Paper again. Mid-air extensions. Finishing touch. Tap and hold normal attack during the 2nd to the 6th mid-air normal attack. Fragmented texts. Tap and hold normal attack in mid-air to deal damage on your descent and suspend the target. Passive mechanisms. When Liu Huo's normal attack deals damage to a locked-on target, there is a 50% chance of triggering Small Seal. Small Seal consists of Flame, Burst, and Attract, which trigger at random. Flame. Single target damage. Internal cooldown, 12 seconds. Burst. Area damage. Internal cooldown, 7 seconds. Attract. Draw in and damage targets within range. Internal cooldown, 15 seconds. Dodge attacks. Inkstone Droplet. Tap normal attack after dodging to form a line of flame on the ground that slows and deals damage over time. Writing Artisan. Tap and hold normal attack after dodging to use Inkstone Droplet combined with Writing Artisan to form a larger ring of flame. Part 2, Skills and Mechanisms. Main Mechanisms Intro. Sparrow Feather. Sparrow Feather is a type of ammo that can be saved up. Sparrow Feathers launch automatically when attacking with a weapon, dealing additional damage. The initial number of Sparrow Feathers is 30, with a maximum capacity of 60. Liu Huo replenishes 15 when dodging. Any attack with Pine Comet triggers 1 Sparrow Feather every second. When Pine Comet is in the offhand slot, attacking with another weapon can also trigger 1 Sparrow Feather every 2 seconds. Activating Liu Huo's Simulacrum trait reduces it to 1 Sparrow Feather every 1 second. It's worth noting that since Sparrow Feather is considered to be ammo, it is affected by Lon Vermilion's strength, which multiplies the ammo cost to greatly enhance DPS. Calligraphy Character. Using the discharge skill of any weapon, or reaching the required number of dodges or normal attacks, will cause the corresponding calligraphy character to drop. Discharge, skill, dodge, attack. Up to 2 calligraphy characters of the same type can exist at the same time. When Liu Huo uses a weapon skill, the calligraphy characters will be consumed and converted into a diverse array of buffs, which we'll cover later. Sparrow Burn. Using any flame weapon's discharge skill will apply 1 stack of Sparrow Burn to the locked-on target, continuously burning the target and stacking up to 2 times. Fiery Explosion on field. This is Liu Huo's unique effect based on her flame attack, the Wanderer's max HP, the sum of all Wanderer's resistance types, and crit to greatly enhance Pine Comet's base damage output. Next, we have the weapon skill in all directions. Liu Huo draws in nearby targets, dealing a large amount of skill damage and additional skill damage based on the number of summons and calligraphy characters. Liu Huo consumes all calligraphy characters on the field, and enters the Pinnacle state for 30 seconds. The Pinnacle state ignores a portion of the target's flame resistance, and receives additional effects based on the type and number of consumed calligraphy characters. The final part of Part 2 is Liu Huo's discharge skill, a spark of genius. Part 3, Star Rating. At 1 star, Liu Huo's Sparrow Feather triggers the spreading effect upon hitting the target, greatly increasing DPS and area damage output. At 3 stars, Liu Huo consumes Sparrow Feathers to recover HP when her HP is low, increasing her survivability. At 5 stars, Liu Huo receives Invulnerability, and when the effect is triggered, she instantly replenishes Sparrow Feathers and Charge to further increase her survivability. Part 4, Weapon Combination and Combat Introduction. Liu Huo's recommended combination 1, Liu Huo, Lan, Fiona. The core damage output comes from Pine Comet's calligraphy characters and Pine Comet's normal attacks and dodge attacks in the main slot. Fiona is recommended to have Torrential Force in slot 1 and Hydro Focus in slot 2. It is recommended to collect 2 stacks of charge before entering battle, and don't forget to maintain Lan and Fiona's damage boost effect in battle. Liu Huo's recommended combination 2, Liu Huo, Lan, Ruby. In the second recommendation, Fiona is replaced by Ruby. After using the skill, Ruby can accrue heat stacks with her normal attacks to receive a damage boost, and her sparks from the offhand slot guarantee her damage contribution with the burn tally. It is recommended to collect 1 stack of charge before entering battle. Watch Ruby's heat stacks in battle, and immediately switch to Liu Huo once it's triggered to secure the best buff. Above is all the content of Liu Huo's showcase. Thanks for watching.
Guys, I'm gonna stop right here. This is JB, signing out.